Hello everyone. This is a walkthrough for this journal that I made for the Use It or Lose It swap. And the whole idea of this journal was to use things that you had in your swap to create a junk journal, which I think basically is a junk journal anyway. So I thought this was a great opportunity to use up some tissue paper, pattern tissue paper, some dictionary pages, and anything I had. And I found two big bags of stuff I had just stashed away when I was cleaning up my area, my craft area. And so here it begins. You make me smile. And I hope this journal does this for you also. As you can see, you can see the dictionary pages and maybe a little bit of the pattern. I have this card that I picked up at the thrift, and these are napkin decoupage. And I use the technique from that video that you will see in the napkin decoupage swap. So I had just watched it, so I was rather inspired. And I used, I think, 3 napkins. This was a napkin that someone had gifted to me in a swap. It is just a beautiful napkin. And I tried this technique, and it worked, and it is just wonderful. So please watch that video. I'll try to link it. And it feels just like paper. And so, you know, if you follow me, I love to stamp, and I added some of my stamps into this. And there you see a little bit of lace trim that was in a box just trailing around. Here you'll see this is all paper. You know how you sometimes have these 3-inch pieces of paper? Here's the second napkin. And I said, oh, look, much bigger area. And it feels just like paper. A little roughness, but it's very flat, so that technique is wonderful. And so as I was saying, you know how when you have 3-inch pieces that you just kind of, here's another example of it, and that's what I used and to create something very nice. So, and here I had some papers that I had been experimenting with that doily impression, where you bake your papers, which normally I don't bake my papers, so I said, oh, this is a good opportunity to use them. And again, a stamp, punching. And I used this journal to really play and experiment with things I had never done. And it was basically creating a scene. And here's a scene just from stamping. I also had a lot of random things. My parents always give me junk mail. And this is what you're seeing here, the stamps and this little card there, calendar card. Again, got out these stamps that I hadn't really used and played with it. This paper, just a few pages were left. And once again, here is that napkin. And you notice I'm cutting out the napkin. It's not the whole napkin in its entirety, which is what I really liked about this technique. It almost works like a rub-on sticker. And here's an old tag I had made and some stationery. Up here is a piece of wrapping paper that someone had gifted, and I now have a great appreciation. I've been using it in a lot of my journals. As I said, those 3-inch pieces, those little strips of paper, and that's what this pocket is made of. You know, maybe this was about 2.5 inches, and then you see these 2 pendants that were just strips of paper hanging around. As you can see here, I tried this stamp on top of the doily. I was very pleased with it. It gives it that almost scrapbook quality to it, and all it was baking the doily and then doing some stamping. It just looks very nice and vintage. The other side of that paper, I did some stamping, and right here you see this little edge. That was an inch edge of paper, and I use it as a decoration, then use this some more lace. I always thought this would be a fun thing to put in a journal. It came from a pad, and I hinged it, and the hinge you can see right here, and it forms a tuck. So I made this butterfly out of music notes to go with the notes here. Just being a little silly, a little whimsy there. Again, this is a die cut. And in my stash, I have tons of these little paper tags there. So I decided, my mission lately has been to use them up. And I used stickers that, you know, when you didn't use them up, but they're just hanging around. Same idea. So this I thought was a very nice effect. And again, you're seeing those 3-inch, just those papers. This is something I had picked up. And this is a sticker that was left over. So again, everything went into this book. Again, that you seen that napkin, I made it into a tag. I was playing around with it. And I had also experimented with that polka dot paper. And so this was the time to use it. Here you see the other side of the napkin. And the napkin, I just kind of trimmed around it, did some stamping. And I think it's just a very pretty page. Who would have thought roses and polka dots? And there you see the pocket, another strip of paper. And then I went crazy with the wrapping paper because I like to fussy cut. Also, more napkin decoupage. Here's a sticker, and there's a little pocket right up there if you want to put something in there. And this is, so I had like 4 little lambs that must have come from a little post-it note, and I thought it would be just kind of fun. So it's made, it says hello. Here's a little pocket there, another stamp, another sticker that was used up. As you can see, the little strips of paper, and a die cut that was floating around. This rose envelope, you know when you buy a stack of recollections paper and you see that rose? That's what I made this envelope. So you can stick something in there. And then I like to use this paper clip just to kind of hold it in place because it kind of flips open or flips down. And here I just left the paper stand alone. That was a natural color of this paper. I didn't do any dyeing, and I love that punch, that Martha Stewart punch. I have a seed catalog, and I had this coffee tag left over. And what this is really the envelope that people often use for the center of their signature. And this envelope, I made this envelope, and it was really too big for what I wanted to use it. So I used it in this swap. Here you can see the last of this napkin decoupage. And here it also is in this butterfly. I love the butterfly napkins. Too bad I used it up. And then there were some printables just floating around. So they went in here. Here's a little pocket, a little bit of this paper left over. And here's the other sheet. Sticker pocket, top loading pocket up there. And here I experimented with a bike napkin. I didn't know that it would, because it was kind of a delicate piece because I had cut around it, and it worked really wonderfully well. These were 2 stickers that were left over on a sheet, and this is a book page. And it makes a very pretty pocket. So I was glad to use the stickers, and something pretty came from it. This was, again, leftover paper, and I did some punching, and everyone has seen that pocket before. And this is from my mini album experiences, where you can see I'm just flipping over. These are tuck spots up here. The tickets also are tuck spots also. I just didn't put anything there. And here's a flower and another butterfly. You can all put something underneath them. And again, the music note paper with the other side of this memo pad that I explained to you. And you can see right here the hinge that also acts as a tuck spot. You see these ladies in a conversation. This I really took from an ad, and I glued it down, and here are some tags that I had leftover paper. Again, I just left this one alone because I thought it was just pretty. This was some leftover paper up here. These are 2 pockets up here. And I like to stamp these little girls. So I had a collection that I just used randomly. And I thought this is a nice little stamp to use with this raindrops right there. You should be familiar with this napkin. And like I said, it lies so nice. I will, I guess, put it as a link because it is just really beautiful. This page is what you can do from mistakes. I was going to stamp Dream a Little Dream, and I dropped the stamp right there. So I said, oh, how am I going to fix this? So I got out the napkin decoupage, and this is 1 napkin. Then I stamped it. Then I added a butterfly because there was a kind of a square cut in the rows. Then I had this doily doily die, and you can see right there, it's not really, didn't cut as cleanly as I would like. So I added it on. And so this is a very beautiful page made of nothing but mistakes. Again, this is a top-loading pocket, one of my favorite stamps. Down here, I like this because this is the other edge of that inch strip. And again, I was using up paper, and this is actually a whole pocket. This is a whole piece. And I did that because when I put the lace, I felt that the butterfly and the flower need a little support, so I put this paper there. Here, this was a butterfly floating around, and I added it on. And so it continues again. And here's this is another sticker I used up. And this paper. So this is a wonderful way of using those 3-inch strips. And I had outlined it with strips of paper, put a little tag there. This is actually one of those pockets that you can, secret pockets. Now, you might wonder, oh, that strip of paper, yes. But it also gives this paper some support because it was catching and it was folding. So if you ever make one of these pockets and you're having it catch and get wrinkled, just add a little bit more paper and to stiffen it, and it works wonderfully well. Again, leftover paper, some pendants that were there. I got this from a paint catalog. This is a sticker to cover the writing. And then I just put some lines from a memo pad. You can kind of see where it is, where it came from. And this comes to the end of this journal. There is a pocket here. Even this lining, there was a big cutout, and I just had, this is the only kind of, it would fit only in this envelope. So I just kind of measured it, and it doesn't, this lime stripe doesn't go all the way through. It almost, because there was a square shape cut from it. So everything is basically made from just stuff that I had floating around my house. And again, I think this is one of those definitions of what a junk journal is. I hope this journal made you smile, because the whole idea is just to make something beautiful from stuff that normally you would get rid of. Thank you for watching.